Alright, and we're good. Alright, so what's up, guys? Guys, welcome back to Sports Talk here. It is me, E21GT James. Yeah, that's probably the weirdest intro I've ever done here on YouTube. And guys, I'm joined by a very special guest. S tier, guys. You guys know him as Six Rings of Steel. Well, aka Matt. Matt, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. But now, those of you who don't know what this is, it's obvious. It's like a little bit of a sports podcast, obviously. Yeah, and it gets, I guess you could say, the issues going. It gets everything, I guess you could say, hyped up. It gets everybody involved. And honestly, I talked about this last time in the first episode. I meant to go live last night, but I couldn't because I had a bunch of shit come up. Pardon my language. But yeah, I had a bunch of stuff come up, and yeah, I wasn't able to go live. And pretty much, like I said, this is gonna be like something normal on my channel. Well, whether it's, just me going live or I have someone such as Matt join me on the channel. And dude, I figure what we talk about today, pretty much something similar that I talked about the first episode. It's what do teams have to do this offseason to beat the Cavs, beat the Warriors. And for me, it's about, I guess you could say, the offseason kind of coming down to everything. And I think it's a lot of teams just making that one move. So, I mean, dude, which teams do you think that would probably have, I guess you could say, the biggest impact this offseason in terms of possibly actually having a chance up against the Warriors and the Cavs, and actually so that next year, for the fourth straight year, we don't see the Cavs versus Warriors?
The first one I would have to go would be the Boston Celtics. So, we know they have the number one overall pick. They were just in the conference final. Depending on what they do, they trade the pick, they don't trade the pick. Amir Johnson's contract stuff, so that's $12 million off the book that they can also use it for agency to maybe go after like a Gordon Hayward type player or a big man or something like that. But yeah, the first overall pick definitely helps their odds. It's already a superstar named Dave Thomas, great defenders like Avery Bradley, Jay Crowder, and a decent center in Al Horford. They could definitely look to compete with the Cavs next year if they add a superstar.
Oh yeah, and I definitely agree with that 100%. And the one thing that I actually do agree about is definitely a lot of teams are going to have a lot of cap space, because what people don't realize is some of the superstars on those teams actually do, or some of these teams actually do have a lot of cap space. And one team that I actually was looking at, in my opinion, that didn't really make the playoffs, and I talked about this the last time. A team that didn't really make the playoffs the last time, but they have cap space because one of their superstars is still on a rookie deal. Well, and I believe a couple others are still on a rookie deal, if I'm correct. And in my opinion, they just need to sign somewhat of a superstar power forward and someone who can back up their current point guard, and they move their current point guard to the point guard position, or to the sixth man, and that team happens to be the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yes, very interesting team.
Yeah, and in my opinion, and this was kind of me just like a little bit of reiterating on what I'm thinking. Like, I know the Timberwolves, they have a lot of cap coming into going into the off season, and looking at the off season, this coming up off season, they definitely have a lot of options to go for power forward. And that's something that I think is actually going to be big, because you look at the power forward class, you got people such as Millsap and you got Blake Griffin. Now, obviously, Blake isn't what he used to be, but he's definitely expendable. Well, in terms of which one they would get, personally, I think I would get Millsap.
Yeah, because we know that Karl-Anthony Towns is not the greatest defender in the world as a center. They've been looking at getting Jonathan Isaac in the draft to play with power forward. So if they don't go that route and they get a guard, which is very loaded question. Yeah, Paul Millsap would be perfect. One of the best defensive big men in the league. Can guard 3 positions on the court. And yeah, he'd be a great compliment to Karl-Anthony Towns.
Yeah, and I was talking about the not necessarily a point guard that's going to be looking for a lot this offseason. And in my opinion, that point guard that I really think that isn't going to be really looking for that much this offseason, who I think would actually be perfect at the point guard position, running it with LaVine, Ian, and Wiggins at the 3. Honestly, I said George Hill would probably be the perfect fit because I don't think he's going to be asking for a lot this offseason. And
Yeah, well,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
oh, no, yeah, we'll definitely see because we know, the CBA's rising. So he might ask for a little bit because he did have a great year. But, yeah, he's not really a score-first point guard, so he's probably perfectly fine at giving the ball up to Wiggins and Towns.
Oh yeah, and again, that's something that probably could make that team. And it's again, these aren't necessarily superstars that we're bringing up. These aren't like Steph Curry, Kevin Durant type people. You think about it. This is a young team in the making. LaVine, he's definitely going to be a star down the line. You got Wiggins, who honestly, in my opinion, and I brought this up last time as well, who was an absolute steal in that Kevin Love trade.
Yeah.
You got Towns, who's an absolute beast already, and it's his sophomore season. He's going to be junior season next year. And then you got, if they do sign Millsap at the 4, or that defensive presence, and also a threat to score inside.
Yeah. So, yeah, the Timberwolves, they definitely could make a playoff run next year.
Yeah, and I definitely do like what you said about the Celtics. And again, it's going to be, and in my opinion, and I'm going to sound like a broken record, but it's all going to be, I think, about, yes, the draft pick's going to come into big play. Whether, like you said, whether they decide to trade that or whether they decide to keep it. In my opinion, I think they should probably keep it up until the draft because I honestly think that teams are going to offer more come the draft as they realize what options they're going to be having and everything, and which could actually become very crucial. Well, at some point.
Yeah.
And as you said, they are going to have money to spend because Amir Johnson, and he's going to be up with his contract. And I think one position that I really think that, and again, I sound like a broken record, but I think one position that, once again, and the Celtics are going to be looking for is, in fact, a power forward.
Yeah. Definitely. And then another team which you want to talk about is definitely the San Antonio Spurs. They've been rumored to go after Chris Paul, which would be very interesting, a team of Kawhi Leonard, LaMarcus Aldridge, and adding Chris Paul.
That right there, every year the Spurs are a contender, and then to just say that you're gonna, and then to have them sign Chris Paul, and then to say that Tony Parker could either say Manu retires this year, they could do so much with Tony Parker if you think about it.
Yeah.
And they don't really, and the sad thing is, some of these teams they don't necessarily have to trade some, I guess you could say, as you said earlier, bad contracts. Actually, although I know the Knicks, they could get rid of a couple bad ones.
Yeah.
But hands down, I think that they would definitely have what is it? I think that at the my bad, I lost my train of thought. All right, real quick. Damn, my bad. Oh yeah, the Spurs. My bad. But yeah, the Spurs. I think that the Spurs, with everything that they got going on, I really do think that the Spurs are definitely a team that, honestly, if they do sign a Chris Paul, they can move Tony Parker to a shooting guard position, which honestly, a pass first for shooting guard, that's a rarity around the NBA, but it definitely will be effective because Tony, with the experience he has, he can definitely play a big role. Well, even if he's the sixth man. And because think of the impact that he'll have off the bench.
Yeah, that'd be lethal, especially Chris Paul, one of the smarter players in the NBA with Greg Popovich, the coach, one of the probably smartest coaches in the NBA, that'd be very fun to watch.
I'm honestly, I'm gonna say arguably the best coach in the NBA, in Greg Popovich.
Yeah, hands down, best coach in the NBA.
And then the one thing that's obviously gonna be big this offseason, the question is, obviously you look at players with a player option, the team option, or the I think it's the ETO option. I might be wrong on that completely, but you look at the teams that have those options, and you look at one player in particular who does have a player option. It's Kevin Durant, and everybody's thinking that, and everybody is so sold that next year the Warriors are going back to the finals. But I have a tendency for this. I don't think Durant's gonna use that player option. I think he's gonna see what he can get in free agency.
Do you think that'd be if Durant switched teams this offseason? That'd be a story if that happened.
And honestly, I think what's gonna happen is pretty much the way that player option is gonna be used is, I think, how the finals happen. And because if the Warriors do wind up winning the finals, which everybody's thinking, then Durant is gonna turn around and be like, okay, I got my chip. I'm gonna decline it, and I'm gonna see what I can get in free agency. In terms of if they lose, or if they lose, it's gonna be, or if they win. I'm sorry. If they win the playoffs, the real question for me is gonna be, will Durant turn around and, I guess you could say, beat Kevin Durant and actually see if he can defend the title with the Warriors. Give or take, Curry is also a free agent, I believe.
Yeah, Curry, they're gonna have to pay him a lot of money. I just don't know. And maybe if the CBA goes down, dude, they're not gonna be able to afford all these 4 All-Stars.
Oh yeah, big time. And it's also going to be a case of, would they be willing to, make some trades? But I really don't think that the Warriors are. But I honestly think it's going to come down for the Warriors thinking who's going to be more valuable to them, Curry or Durant.
Exactly.
And for me, as much as it kills me to say it, I gotta say Curry's been more loyal because he's actually been there for the start. He didn't sign the 1-year contract.
Yeah.
But it's definitely going to be an interesting offseason in my opinion. It really is. And I know your Knicks, they have a bunch of options that they can go with. But unfortunately, I don't know. I think the move that starts right there, and I don't know how you're going to feel about this, but I think one of the moves that has to happen is Derrick Rose and Joakim Noah. Both of them, I think they both need to go because I honestly think, yes, it was a good move that it sounded like, but in the long run, it kind of just went crashing.
Well, yeah, I don't think, both weren't really great moves. The Rose trade wasn't that bad for the Knicks, but the signing from Noah was bad. They're probably not going to bring back Rose that they do. I'd be very bad Knicks fan. But Noah, they're kind of stuck with them. They're probably going to give him another year, and if he performs better, they're probably going to have to release him.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, all right, man. I know you said you had to go around like 10:30. I know it's 10:32 right now, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good, man. Thank you though for dropping in, guys. Like I said, guys, that is 6 Rings of Steel. Matt, hey, dude, I do appreciate you dropping in and everything, man.
No problem, man.
Alright, yeah. And guys, this is something I'm going to actually look to do a lot more over the summer. Or who knows how much. I'm actually going to continue this. But Matt, I know you said you had to go. Guys, I will post a link to his channel down in the description. Dude, once again, thank you so much for joining me, man.
No problem, man. It was fun. See you later, dude.
Definitely. Take it easy, Matt.
Peace.
Alright guys, so I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm actually going to continue about this. It's now back to what I said about the Kevin Durant thing, and I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm actually going to take this time to actually give you guys my opinion on the Warriors and the or the Warriors and the Cavs in the finals, because I know a lot of people are talking about that, and I know a lot of people are asking me for my opinion. They're asking me, who do you think is going to win? What do you think is going to be the X factor? And honestly, guys, the way I look at it, both teams are virtually even. And I know what you guys are saying. Oh, how are both teams even? And that's something stupid to say. Some people, Cat fans, they're going to make the argument that Kyrie is better than Curry at point guard and LeBron's better than Durant at small forward. And a lot of people are actually going to make, and the Warrior fans are going to go ahead and they're going to make the comment that Curry is actually better than Kyrie, and Durant's better than LeBron, and Draymond's better than Kevin Love, and same thing with the Cavs. They're going to think that Kevin Love is better than Draymond Green, as I'm having a brain fart right there. However, a lot of people are also going to bring up the matchup between J.R. Smith, if I believe he's going to be starting at shooting guard for Cleveland, as I'm going to sound like an idiot right there. But more than likely, J.R. Smith, he is starting at shooting guard. He's going to take on Clay. Obviously, we know that's going to be a battle of like two shooters, beyond shooters. 3-point things are going to be raining from these two. Ooh, I can't prove that. But you get the picture. But I think that the real difference in this is actually going to be, and something that the Warriors haven't really addressed, I guess you could say. And it really is. It's interesting. It really is. Is because the guy that I believe that's gonna be very good. And it's nothing on the bench. It's nothing off the bench. It's nothing on the bench. It's nothing. I honestly think the center position for the Golden State Warriors is going to be a lot weaker. And this is where Tristan Thompson is actually going to prove his worth. Where he actually has to prove his worth. Because if he's going to get bullied by JaVale McGee, I want to bring up some numbers real quick. I want to compare them. Alright, Tristan Thompson. And alright, I can almost... Why do I almost know that Tristan's going to start? I know he is. Yeah. Now, give or take, Tristan isn't the best scorer. More or less, he's not the scoring option for the Cavs. But that's because, again, you got J.R. Smith, you got Kyrie, you got LeBron, you got Kevin Love before him. But that's not necessarily why the Cavs have him. They have him for his defensive abilities, and they have him because he's a good perimeter scorer. Now, these numbers are not the best, but obviously, they're going to be better, but they're better than JaVale McGee, in my opinion. 8.1 points, 9.2 rebounds, 1 assist. That's what he's averaging. Now, let's go ahead and let's compare that to and as it says, they put Draymond at center. Well, that's just weird. Alright, if they want to put Draymond at center, then let me actually... Now, I'm not going to say that that's a bad idea, putting Draymond at center. But Draymond's 6'7". Draymond's 6'7". Now, all y'all probably thinking, now what the hell does that have to do with anything? And you just said, Tristan's better than, Oh, I guess y'all kind of get what I'm saying. And I just said Tristan's better than JaVale McGee. However, Tristan Thompson is at least the same height. Or close to the same height as JaVale McGee. Because JaVale McGee is... Yeah, McGee's 7 foot. And like I said, Draymond is 6'7". And why does that factor? Tristan Thompson is 3 inches taller than Draymond Green. The reason this is big is because Tristan is obviously he can use that hook shot to his advantage, I guess you could say. Hey, and that's literally probably all he has to do is a simple hook shot. And they don't really, and like I said, Golden State hasn't really been known for their center game this season, and it's again going to be something that everybody talks about. Oh, Golden State lost because they have no bigs, and it's true. And if anybody you're going to move to, in my opinion, if you're Golden State, if you're going to move anyone to the center position, especially against the Cavs, I honestly think that maybe you move Durant there. Because he is virtually the same height as Tristan Thompson. Now nobody can really say what Durant is gonna be like or who he's gonna defend. I guess you could say. Hey, my bad on that. You can't really say who Durant is gonna defend come to playoffs, and that's gonna be interesting, and that's gonna be very key because obviously he can't defend both LeBron and Tristan Thompson. And honestly, I think that if Golden State's smart, they're going to put Durant on Mr. LeBron James because, let's be realistic, the LeBron-KD matchup has honestly, it's turned heads. And I'm not even going to lie, so. But, yeah, that's beside the point. And so, yeah, but in terms of who I think is going to win, I think, in case you guys haven't heard, I think it's going to be Cleveland. I really do. I believe it's going to be Cleveland. I'm going to give it in 6. I'll give it in 6. Hang on. Who has home field? It's Golden State. So, game 6, that would be in Cleveland. Let me just double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. Game 6 would be in Cleveland. And the reason I think it's going to be Cavs as victory is because of the Biggs issue with Golden State. And like I said, that's my opinion. And so, alright guys. Alright, but yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in, guys. I really do appreciate it. I want to give a big shout out to Six Rings of Steel. I really do. Ooh, the dude, I asked him to join me. Said he would. Guys, he's an absolute awesome guy. Very nice. Extremely nice. Thanks, guys. I'm putting the link down to his channel down in the description, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And I really do appreciate it, guys. And I will talk to you guys. Yeah, I'm going to say probably tomorrow. Because I don't really have much going on. So I'll get something going on for you guys. So thank you again, guys, for tuning in. And, guys, I will see you guys probably tomorrow. All right. Later, guys.